Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. Boy, what a day this has been. So I can report to you that Speaker Pelosi learned about the president's diagnosis from her staff, and her staff learned it from TV. In other words, they saw it on television, and they were not informed by the White House about the president's the fact that the president, had contracted the illness. And the same happened with the Biden campaign. The Biden campaign found out about it just like everyone else did. So I thought that was worth reporting. We are, at the moment I'm recording this video, awaiting the results of Speaker Pelosi's test, because keep in mind, Speaker Pelosi is number 2 in line to the president after Vice President Mike Pence, who fortunately has also tested negative along with Karen Pence. So they have also tested negative, and Speaker Pelosi's results are being awaited. Senator Chuck Grassley, at the time I'm recording this video, who's number 3 in line to the president after Vice President Mike Pence and after Speaker Pelosi, at the time I'm recording this video, as far as we know, has not yet been tested. We don't know anything about Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell yet. And like I said, Vice President Joe Biden and his wife, Dr. Jill Biden, have indeed been tested, and they are also negative. Also, the following individuals I can confirm are tested, have been confirmed tested negative: Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, the HHS Secretary Alex Azar, Senator Kamala Harris has also been tested negative, and her husband Doug Emhoff have also been tested negative. Now, Judge Amy Coney Barrett was actually diagnosed with COVID over the summer, but has since recovered. So that's the news there. You'll see a tweet on your screen from Jim Acosta at CNN. The president's campaign just announced that all previously announced campaign events involving the president's participation are in the process of being moved to virtual events or are being temporarily postponed. Now, let me get to the more important news, where the stimulus negotiations stand right now. And I can tell you that, and you saw this in one of my previous videos, that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi did say that there was a change in the dynamic, and the House is now pushing for standalone airline aid, and then they're going to focus on the stimulus bill. But now House Speaker Pelosi seems a lot more optimistic about a stimulus bill, and in my opinion, they are going to sort things out, and I believe a stimulus bill at this moment in time is imminent. I don't say this lightly, because I do believe that the two sides are going to come together very quickly. Now, there are some Republican senators who still have their reservations, but I think it is fair to say that the two sides will come together very quickly. In fact, House Speaker Pelosi did lay out her disagreements in writing with U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin in talks. There is some distance between both sides, but I believe that we'll see a response from the White House very soon. And you'll see the letter on your screen, and the letter reads: Dear Democratic colleague, today our thoughts and prayers are with the President and First Lady for a swift and full recovery. This is a sad day for our country, knowing that more than 7 million American families have faced the same worry after their loved ones have been infected, and more than 209,000 people have died. Strong action is needed to crush the pandemic and protect lives, livelihood, and lives of our democracy. Last night, House Democrats showed support, and she talks about the HEROES Act, which, like I mentioned, is a symbolic gesture, because the updated version of the HEROES Act is not going to get the support that it needs in the Senate to become law. And this is the important part. She wrote, our negotiations with the administration continue, and I am hopeful that we can reach agreement. However, we still have significant disagreement in key areas. Today, I am writing to report to you on where we stand on these priorities. So the Speaker talks about unemployment insurance. She wrote, the GOP number does not measure up to the need that we both recognize. Remember, U.S. Treasury Steven Mnuchin proposed a $400 a week unemployment benefit extension. So she said this does not measure up to the need that we both recognize, particularly as long-term unemployment rises and families are exhausting their benefits. This is separate from our disagreement over the dollar amount for the enhanced unemployment benefit. She also talked about schools and state and local funding. She did mention, and these are new numbers that came out, that the September jobs report shows that 280,000 teachers and support staff have lost their jobs in the last month alone, with more than 800,000 fewer teachers and support staff employed compared to the same period last year, overwhelmingly because of the pandemic. She said, "We have no right to salute our heroic frontline healthcare workers, police, fire, sanitation, transit, and teachers if we do not give them the state and local funding needed to prevent them from losing their jobs." And state and local funding, what the Democrats wanted was at $436 billion, and where the administration is right around $250 billion. So they're still apart by 186 billion dollars, excuse me. And House Speaker Pelosi talked about children. You'll see this on your screen. Essential to the well-being of America's working families is the child tax credit and earned income tax credit. In the original HEROES Act, we allocated $149 billion, which we have cut to $57 billion in the updated bill. The Republican proposal had zero. We are hopeful that the administration will join us at our level for the child tax credit and earned income tax credit, and are awaiting a response. In terms of childcare, we have $57 billion to their $25 billion and are pushing them to come up to a higher number. Now, before I continue, I do want my viewers and subscribers to know that the Speaker is expecting a response from U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin. At this point in time, given the bad headlines that exist around the administration, around the White House, there is a very, very high degree of probability that the Speaker will stay here, and U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, under the instructions of the President, will inch closer and closer. The key is the administration will have to do it in a way where they can present it as if, they can gain mileage politically. At the end of the day, I've talked about this before, this should be about economics, this should be about helping people, but instead it's about politics, it's about timing, it's about opportunity, and all of these three scenarios have changed in the past 12 hours since the diagnosis from the President. So that is where things stand right now. House Speaker Pelosi did also talk about testing and tracing and said, finally, the administration is coming closer to our number on the funds needed for the testing and tracing that science tells us is necessary to crush the virus. However, we have not yet reached agreement on the language, which is critical to ensuring that the administration uses these funds correctly to stop the spread of the virus. So House Speaker Pelosi standing firm, making sure she gets exactly what she wants, and she's bringing them closer and closer and closer and closer. Whether you're a supporter of House Speaker Pelosi or a supporter of President Trump doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that we are not red or blue, that we are red, white, and blue. What matters to me is not that we are Democrats or Republicans. We are Americans, because we are Americans first. I'm an American first before I'm a Democrat or a Republican. So House Speaker Pelosi also talked about appropriations. She wrote, many of the priorities in the bill are addressed in the appropriations section, which we have reduced to $144 billion. The White House is suggesting cutting $44 billion more. We await the changes that they are suggesting. And finally, House Speaker Pelosi writes, and you can see this on your screen, these are 5 notable areas of concern. There are other areas of disagreement that are part of the discussion, which we continue to work on as well. We are expecting a response from the White House on these areas and others with more detail. In the meantime, we continue to work on the text to move quickly to facilitate an agreement. I will keep you updated. Once again, I want to thank our chairs for the important work that they have done to meet the needs of the American people. Thank you for your leadership. This is a situation where the White House is going to come back to Speaker Pelosi, but this is the closest they have been for a long time, and this just needs a few things to fall into place for everything to happen. Do we have a signed bill? No. Is something imminent? I would say yes, because we're getting really close. And I understand that there's a lot of skepticism out there. I understand that, you want to wait until something is actually signed, and that makes sense. I'm not discounting that. But if you read the writing on the wall, and if you read between the lines, you'll see that essentially the bargaining position of one side is such that, hey, come closer and closer to us, and the other side is coming closer and closer, whether they like it or not, because things have changed a lot in the past 12 to 24 hours. In fact, House Speaker Pelosi specifically said, and I did cover this in another video, this changes the dynamics of the conversation. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. If you don't know anything about me, check out my video. I have the fortune, the honor, the privilege of living the American dream. We release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. So please make sure you click like, you subscribe, you enable notifications. That's your vote of confidence in us. That's your vote of confidence in my team for all the hard work that we put in. Please also get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000, that's 70000, and you'll get added to our SMS list. You can also get on our email list. Go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts. And then you can get added to our email list or our SMS list at any point in time that you want. Make sure to follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. And finally, make sure you follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is ignition_time, the exact same handle. You can also bookmark our channel, youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. This way, you're not waiting for YouTube to send you notifications. You can just go to our channel and instantly watch any video at any point in time that you want. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, we release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time, most days of the week. Please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video at Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.